Speaking of passionate, implacable wrestlers, one can't help but mention John Smith. That toughness came to him from his childhood. Smith was born in Del City, Oklahoma on August 9, 1965 and was one of 10 children in his family. Wrestling was a way of life in his family, and Smith began wrestling at the age of 6. But the future champion lost his first 5 bouts, which infuriated him greatly. Smith was a strong competitor, and when there were no wrestling tournaments, he and his 9 siblings would hold their own tournament at home. These sibling bouts were intense and produced some great wrestlers in the family. John's brother Mark became a university wrestling champion, Pat Smith became the first 4-time university wrestling champion, and the oldest, Leroy, became a world championship silver medalist. These family bouts often boiled down to John and Leroy, who was 7 years older than John. These bouts sometimes bordered on fistfights, and John usually walked away from them battered and bloodied. This created a feud between the two brothers that lasted for years, but instilled in John that all-important iron will. He finished his high school wrestling career as a 2-time state champion, as well as placing 4th at the Junior Nationals and a silver medal at the Junior World Championships. Entering college, Smith looked like a monster who would take college wrestling by storm. But in 1983, his freshman year, Smith failed to make the tournament. Then in his sophomore year, in Oklahoma City, in front of his friends and family, Smith made the finals and lost. Smith was beyond furious, taking the defeat as a personal insult. Determined to be the best, Smith fully committed himself to the sport and discarded everything that was not directly related to success on the mat. Friends, relationships, and vacations were pushed to the back burner as Smith strived to achieve a singular goal, never losing again. The following year, after taking a break from college competition, Smith won the 1986 United States National Wrestling Championships. He also competed in the 1986 Goodwill Games, an international competition organized by Ted Turner in response to the recent boycott of the Olympic Games by the Soviet Union and the United States. Although the Soviet Union dominated these games, Smith won gold at 62 kilograms, defeating Kaiser Isiev of the Soviet Union.
They gave 2 to Isaev because they said John Smith rolled across his back, but he does pick up another 2 here. In spite of the way they're calling, surprising me. Time running out. There it is. There it is. Great. Great.
Smith was becoming an exceptional wrestler. He was a fantastic athlete with an explosive throw and very technical wrestling. His best technique was a high grab with a groin lift, but wrestlers were beginning to adapt to it by stepping back to prevent it. To counter this, Smith developed his low single leg pass, which became synonymous with the name John Smith. On the ground, Smith was also good on the ground, making him a very complete wrestler. Smith then won his first college wrestling championship, and his career didn't end there. He went to the Pan American Games and won gold there and then went to the FILA World Championships. Smith reached the finals and met Giovanni Salacci, a 3-time Olympian from Italy, there. In 1988, Smith won the university wrestling title again, won the United States national title and went to the pre-Olympic qualifying tournament. There he faced Randy Lewis, the 1984 Olympic champion who had defeated brother John Leroy at that cycle's Olympic trials in a heated bout accompanied by protests. Lewis defeated John in the preliminary round of qualifying for the 1988 Olympics, and that defeat put Smith dangerously close to elimination. But Smith would go on to have 2 more bouts with Lewis, both of which he won. So, Smith traveled to Seoul, where during the Olympic tournament he suffered several finger injuries, an ear abscess that had to be drained several times, and a broken nose. But, battered and bruised, Smith still took center stage to fight Stefan Sarkisian of the Soviet Union for the gold medal and win. Shortly after winning the gold medal, Smith faced Sarkisian at the World Championships and lost. The loss upset Smith and he refocused his competitive season and won the United States National Championship. Smith then went to the World Championships and won gold against Canadian Gary Bae. Then in 1989, a bout between Smith and the great Soviet wrestler Sergei Beloglazov was organized. A 6-time world champion from the Soviet Union, Beloglazov was no longer in his best form, but still very dangerous. It was one of the rare super matches in the history of freestyle wrestling.
For a long long time to be in this match, but he is being dominated right now by John Smith. 5 seconds to go. They're not giving a point. His knee must go down. Smith doesn't care. Yeah, what a great match for us.
Smith also won world and national championships in 1990 and 1991. In 1992, Smith went to his second Summer Olympics in Barcelona, Spain. Although Smith was the favorite to win the games, he had to work hard to reach the finals and have a chance to compete for gold against Iran's Askari Mohammadian. By winning his second gold medal, Smith firmly established himself as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time and without a doubt the best wrestler the United States has ever produced. He retired from wrestling and went straight into coaching, taking over as head wrestling coach at Oklahoma. His coaching career was almost as successful as his wrestling career. His pupils won 5 team national titles, an overall team record of 328-47-6, and he produced 95 All-Americans and 24 individual national champions. Smith has also been called upon to coach the United States national team on numerous occasions, including 2 Olympic teams. A fantastic coach as well as a wrestler, John Smith is the epitome of the competitive fire and toughness needed to succeed at the highest level of the sport he loves.